All right, so it's time for us to do business. We're bringing you updates from our local from some of the events coming up this afternoon. We're talking about the industry sector and the challenges with energy. Let's get to details of our stories this afternoon. Now, some industries in the Ashanti region have their outputs dropping to over 60% due to the energy crisis. Well, they insist that the prevailing situation is compelling them to resort to laying off workers to save costs. A report by William Evansinkum.
Agrochemicals is one of the infant companies located within the Kasa industrial enclave. The current erratic power supply has had a serious toll on production. With no power supply, this factory is gradually becoming non-functional. Production has dropped by 60%, whilst a chunk of its declined dividend is being used to fuel its plant. The director of the company told TV3 he is compelled to lay off workers as a result of the current situation.
We suffer a lot. We have workers more than 40. As we're here now, I'll sack all of them. If they'll give you 6 hours a light, you already use 2 hours to heating your machines, so the rest is 4 hours. How many production you have to produce?
The story was not different at the Obibini Blackman Distillery's alcoholic beverage factory. The CEO of the company, Dr. Thomas Kofi Abuaje Blackman, said he spends more than 2,000 Ghana cedis every day to fuel the company's plants.
We should generate too. 300 kVA, 300 kVA.
I have 2 power generating plants and each takes 1,000 cedis worth of fuel daily. It is unbearable.
At the end of the day,
Later tonight, we're turning to discuss issues into details. The problems and challenges with the energy sector. Of course, we'll get a representative from the industrial sector, that's AGI, to really give their concerns on these issues. You should be joining us on Business Focus for all these details. Let's do the stories now as the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Julius Deborah, says the policies governing the country's informal sector lack the arrangements to benefit national development. He is, however, pleased with the basic structures to improve the sector.
The sector employs over 80% of the country's labor force of 10.8 million as of 2012, according to the Frederick Herbert Foundation, but it is not under any ministry. The sector is characterized by unemployment, bad working conditions, uncertain work relationships, and low wages. A policy dialogue between the informal workers of Accra and the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development was put together by RECO and People's Dialogue, which afforded them the opportunity to discuss problems facing workers.
The street hawking has come to stay. We cannot do or go away without thinking about them. They are also part of the informal sector. They are visible everywhere, but nobody seems to be happy to mention their name.
When TV3 asked the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development if he was disappointed about the situation in the informal sector, this is what he had to say.
The most important thing of formulating a policy is how best the policy could be used to benefit the citizenry. And so I will encourage the informal operators to explore the possibilities of using the policies to their benefit. I am not disappointed because, you see, society is dynamic, it evolves. And we all will realize that maybe a few years back, what was seen strictly as a formal thing may not necessarily be seen in the same way because society is changing. And so I will not express it as a disappointment, but I will express it as part of the evolution taking place in the society. Maybe this is the time that we've all come to the realization to formalize the activities of the informal sector. Even that, it's still going to be very difficult to put them under a straitjacket formal way of doing things.
Right, so if you just join us, still Midday Live, you can definitely update us or join us with some of your concerns on the energy situation in the country, as tonight we're prepared to get you all the updates on News 360 and also be joining you with Business Focus. Well, my name is Kwekutami. Many thanks for staying with us on the business segment. We're coming back with some sports update, but just before we go, we have some updates from the construction sector, as the Minister for Works and Housing, Collins Dauda, has admitted that government lacks the funds needed to resolve the nation's infrastructural deficit. Well, he says it will take a collaboration between government and construction companies to achieve that goal.
The Association of Building Civil Engineering Contractors of Ghana on Thursday hosted the Africa Federation of Construction Contractors Association Executive Bureau meeting in Accra. The national president, Martin Zinro, advocated collaboration in growing the economy and improving the construction industry.
The construction industry is therefore central to Africa's growth. ABCCG is calling upon African governments, especially Ghana government, to deepen cooperation and collaboration in the field of contracting in the following areas: management of government immovable assets, maintenance of government properties, development of construction technologies, and cooperation and collaboration in delivery of affordable housing infrastructure.
The Minister for Works and Housing, Collins Dauda, admitted government lacks the funding to address the nation's infrastructural deficit.
It is therefore clear that other sources of funding needs to be identified. Let me use this opportunity to encourage indigenous firms, particularly state-owned companies, to partner their foreign counterparts to leverage the necessary capital for massive infrastructure development in our various countries. The ministry is ready to collaborate with the association to find lasting solutions to the challenges facing the sector.
Meanwhile, the first vice president of the Africa Federation of Construction Contractors Association, Abdulhak Ilaraki, has called for a collaboration between African construction companies. He advocated South-South cooperation to ensure growth through technology transfer. Construction contractors from Benin, Egypt, Malawi, Sudan, Morocco, and other parts of the continent are meeting in Accra to discuss the growth and sanitization of the construction industry in Ghana.
All right, so that's about it in business.